Often, when people have a question about their workplace rights, they would ask something like this: can I be fired for saying this or doing that? The reality, however, is that in most cases, an employer can always fire an employee regardless of whether the termination would be fair or unfair, proper or improper, and even legal or illegal. No one can force the employer, in most cases, to continue employing someone that they don't want to employ, just like no one can force you to continue working for someone who you don't want to work for. If it turns out that your termination is illegal, then you may have an option of bringing a case against your employer. But this doesn't mean that the employer at that time, before that, cannot simply choose to fire you and say, you know what, I don't care if it's legal or not, I don't want you here, at least right now, I'm firing you. If you want to sue me, if you think that you have enough evidence to make claims against me, go ahead and do it. So, the correct question usually is not whether or not your employer can fire you, but whether or not your termination would be legal under those specific circumstances, and whether, given what happens, you will have enough evidence to make a case against that employer. It's true that in some cases you may be reinstated and the employer can be forced to take you back to work. This often happens in union grievances where an employee is a member of the union, he goes to arbitration after being fired, he proves that he wasn't terminated for just cause, and the arbitrator would order his reinstatement. This can also happen in public sector, in public employment, where an employee goes to a SCELI hearing, SPB hearing, he wins, and the administrative law judge would order that employee's reinstatement with or without back wages. But except those few situations, generally in the private sector, if you work for a private employer where you're an at-will employee, the correct question is not whether your employer can fire you, because they can always do that. There is no immunity against being fired. But whether or not there will be enough evidence under those specific circumstances to make a case and hopefully win a case for wrongful termination and other violations. Thank you.